Are you crazy? Or are you just mad?
Hello, 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 hello! And welcome to the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where we discuss the latest news, research and hot topics surrounding mental health. I'm Thomas Maher, and I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, award-winning singer, songwriter and presenter, Indiraa.
Indira. Hello, Indira.
Are you endearing yourself to Indiraa then?
Kind of, yes. I'm getting there, aren't I?
Yes, we're both getting there,
You
but
sound
we
very-
don't know where we're going.
You sound very adolescent and immature.
Yeah, you sound really mature.
Mature like a cheese. Which one? 4, 5, 6?
No, you're just
Extra mature?
chore.
Chore. I'm a sure to listen to.
Yeah.
It's chore. Is it that bad?
No.
Oh, no. So welcome, Indira.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you?
I don't know why we make this funny voice every time we talk to each other.
I know, we're pathetic, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
Or we're just mad.
We're just mad.
So, anyway, welcome, folks, to another episode of the Mad Podcast. And we're back, myself and the wonderful Indira. So, Indira, have you any updates on us, on how your week's been and progressing with your therapy?
Yes, things are moving. I have now got an appointment to have a person come home and assess me about, because I want to give up alcohol, as you know, forever and ever. And the thing is, I can go do well and then one bad day, do well and then one bad day. But the thing is, being as all you people with clinical depression will know, if you're on antidepressants or any form of depression, if you're on antidepressants, you cannot drink. And so one glass of wine really knocks me out. And then if I land up drinking 2 or 3, that's the end of it. So that's the reason I want to give. But so there is an injection that they give you that has 1 month lasting effect. And then they kind of do the dosage depending on what you want, whether you want to give up permanently, whether you want this, that, and I, of course, want to give up permanently because I don't do anything in half measures.
Yes, we know that.
Because that is what I'm all about. And that's going well. Also, in terms of the ketamine, as you know, we're obsessed with our ketamine, aren't we, Tommy?
Yes.
So, yeah, I have sending an email with you to the clinic today to see if I am going to be a candidate.
Excellent.
And which I believe I will be. And I've kind of gone over and above my psychiatrist and decided to do this on my own because thanks to Thomas' encouragement, I have to make decisions for myself. And like we always say, you only understand depression when you suffer from it.
Indeed.
And when you're someone like my husband, who has no idea what depression is, he tries to find every different avenue to explain away the fact that I have a problem. He doesn't want to accept it. And when he does, it's like, let's just give her a pill and she'll be fine. So, it's trying to educate people who don't understand what this is all about. And when better than this month, which is, mental awareness.
Yes, of course. This, as on that topic, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So obviously, a lot of research, a lot of topics, a lot of discussion, a lot of interviews, a lot of everything happening this month because obviously it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we actually have two topics specifically related to Mental Health Awareness Month that we're going to read off shortly. But just back to what you're saying, that's very good. That's very good, Indira, that you've taken that step and one step closer again, because getting that assessment is vital at this point to know that you're a candidate, because you can't proceed without that. And I think
it's terrible, and it's but there is this side that I say, what if it doesn't work on me? What if I'm that one person that things don't work on? And then I just think, well, what can go wrong? I can just have to deal with it.
But at least you know. At least you'll know if it didn't work. At least you'll know. It's the what if.
Yeah.
Is always worse than.
Yeah, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. You've got to know. You've got to know because you can't move on unless you know.
Exactly.
You know, so trial and error. If something that works for you, great. If it doesn't, draw a line in the sand, you move on, try something else. And I think, you know, and this, you know, if you look at the research, the current data on it, I mean, ketamine has an 83% success rate. Yeah. 83%. That's higher than anything. It's the only thing that's similar, equivalent is ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, which we also spoke about. Yeah. And that's obviously very effective. So they're the two best treatments you can get at the moment on the market, apart from psychedelic treatments, which are not available unless you do trials. So look, you've taken that step. You're one step closer to it. Once you get that assessment, and hopefully, in which my belief will be, I'm certain about it, that you will be a candidate, you'll get to try it. And then I think, you know, you'll be able to come back here and tell us how you're feeling. And I think that's going to be a great thing. A lot of people interested to know how it's working for you and, more importantly, for you. So that's really good.
And don't worry, I will be back, guys. Even though I'll be flying up there and say, what is depression? I'll still come back and say, don't worry, been there, done that.
That sounds like a threat. I'll be back. I mean, you are the ventilator, right?
Yeah, I am the ventilator. That's right. Yeah,
the ventilator.
No, I won't be Ani, will I? I'll be Annie.
The Indirinator.
And Annie.
Annie. No, it's like the Indirinator.
No, that doesn't work. Sorry.
What works then? Annie? What is
Tominator?
Annie?
You're the
I'm Tominator, yeah, but how can you be Annie-nator? What are you, an Annie-nator?
No, I said
Postnator?
Okay.
Prenator?
Okay, come on, let's just go with this, shall we?
Rubbish you talking about. But anyway, before that, folks, we've obviously gone through the whole album of the Mad 2024. We played all the songs, of course, and I had available. The links are always in the show notes, so go have a listen, download, stream, whatever, buy, purchase. It's all for a great cause, some great tracks up there. Today, we are going to play one of Indira's new, it hasn't even been released, it's just up, it is on YouTube, and we are going to play it for you. It's our forthcoming new track. And what's it called, Indira?
Dust on the Dance Floor.
Dust on the Dance Floor. And I've heard it, and it is fantastico. So hold on to your boots, folks, because we're going to play it later in the show. Right, on we go. So today we have our 4 topics, and we actually have a UFO article for today.
Oh, we like this, don't we?
We're good. So today, Indira's going to start us off with one which is specifically for Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is called Movement is Hope, moving for mental health. And that is and then from me, you're going to have psychedelic toxins from toads could treat depression. You heard that right, folks. I did say psychedelic toxins from toads could treat depression and anxiety.
That's why toads are so happy, no?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And toads in the hole. Happy toads.
No, they jump in and out of puddles.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, and Puddles is one of the cutest girl frogs I've ever seen.
I'm going to be Tommy Toad. Tommy Toad. I tiptoed around the place.
Aww.
Oh, and then we're going to have another one from me. From Indira. Why British women are the saddest in Europe. That's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? And then finally from me, are you burned out or just depressed? So we will read about that. And then we're going to have our dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Now this is, I've already read this. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. I don't want anyone to laugh when I'm reading this. You can check this out for yourself. But the title is UFO Whistleblower Claims Alien Waved Down Military Convoy to Ask for a Spare Part. Don't laugh.
I said I wouldn't. Okay, it's true.
True. Indira, take it away.
Okay, the Mental Health Awareness Week 2024. The theme is Movement for Mental Health. In this article, MQ staff member Juliet Burton explains how mental health lived experience has led her to a movement running to raise money for mental health research and why it matters so much for her. Research is key. Movement starts with hope. My mental illness led me to some hopeless times, but research gives me hope, which is why I want to give back and raise money for research. I hope to do that with my own movement. I've been called crazy many times. Some might even fear mental illness because of the sharp edge of what it means to be human. That's true, I have to say. People are scared of what they don't understand. Researchers are helping us to understand, so we don't need to be scared anymore. So much of life.
On that point, you made a very good point. Sorry to interrupt, but your husband this morning, when you were having that conversation about ketamine, people are scared of what they don't understand.
Yes, he doesn't understand, and he looked like we were attacking him.
It almost looked like we were taking you to the gallows.
He was like, but, and this is an entrepreneur who's has multiple companies, and he makes decisions every day, and yet when it comes to me,
he's got his business head on when he's thinking about mental health. Sorry, cannot be done.
And he can't understand. He just doesn't understand how to deal with someone with mental health issues, because he's so grounded.
Yeah. Well, everything has to be made on a logical basis, which mental health is not logical. It's, a lot of time you're dealing with someone who's illogical and irrational.
Exactly.
You have to understand mental health to deal with that. But anyway, sorry to interruption.
The fact that I'm illogical and irrational doesn't help. Anyway, researchers are helping us to understand, so we don't need to be scared anymore. So much of my life I've struggled to survive. I want us all to thrive, and research is key. Research has given me greater understanding of why I struggle more than others. I'm hypermobile and being diagnosed as neurodivergence, both of which have, accordance to research, clear links to a unlikelihood in that case, of mental health conditions developing. Environmental factors. One of the contributions, genetic factors, childhood experiences make more than likely to experience mental distress. See, this is where I was coming from. My husband grew up in a very, very comfortable environment where everything was literally, his environment was no variables. The parents were fabulous parents, blah, blah, blah. Genetically, he comes from,
good stock.
Very good stock. And his childhood experience was just being happy and everything being done. And
he experienced equilibrium,
very successful. When he put his hand to tennis, he was successful. When he put his hand to, his studies, he was very successful. Business, he was very successful. Mind you, his mom did get one of the best musicians in India to teach him music, and she made him show off how he sang, and he can't sing in tune. But I dare not tell him. He thinks he's really good.
Does he? Mm-hmm. We've got to get him onto the podcast then.
Before this research when I was growing up, I didn't know any of this. I just felt like I was wrong or different, and the world wasn't built for me. Sadly, another thing I've learned from research is that people with severe mental illness, like myself, are likely to die 10 to 20 years earlier. The only way the world will open for people like me is the world of changes, and research is the only way that can happen. Lived experiences. I've experienced mental health distress since the age of 7 or 8, same as me. This becomes debilitating mental health conditions diagnosed in my teens and 20s, including eating disorders such as anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, same as me, disorder, as well as anxiety disorder, depression, body dysmorphic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, that's me as well, dissociative identity disorder, PTSD, complex post-trauma stress disorder, and I've also experienced psychotic hallucinations. I was sectioned under the Mental Health Act when I was 17. I was a month away from dying of anorexia. A year later, I was suicidal due to binge eating disorder. I've been an inpatient 5 times for mental illnesses. Nowadays, the labels I use to define myself aren't my mental health conditions. I'm a comedian, using humor to break down the barriers and increase understanding. If we're laughing together, we feel less alone. And I never want anyone to feel as alone as the stigma that surrounds mental health conditions has led me to feel. Yes, you do feel alienated, you feel alone, I have to say.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also a writer. Writing helps to communicate with others and with myself, and it helps me constantly, learn, explore, and create. Gives my voice and my experience strength, and I've learned both writing and performing comedy helps others too. Mental health is a movement. Movement helps my mental health. In the tool belt of mental wellness management, I can use to give me a better chance of managing my mental health. Being active calms my mind. Minds and bodies are interconnected. Therefore, mental health is a physical health. In a two-way system, my body informs my mind and my mind informs my body, and frequently my mind is more in charge. So often my mind over physical matter. It is mind over physical matter.
Yeah.
So being active, whether through dance or walking or running or something else, helps me connect with me. Being in the body feels overwhelming for me so often. Spending time strengthening it, challenging it, working with it helps me break it down and rebuild both my muscles, but also my thoughts and feelings. Just like when I'm on stage, something shifts and energy changes. It's practice though, just like laughter. The more I do it, the more empowered I feel. Movement empowers me, just like performing comedy, such as so much in my life I've felt disempowered. I now know that when I'm empowered myself, it inspires others to empower themselves. I have to say, when I run, my compulsive disorder makes me, once I start running, I have to keep running till I reach 10 to 13 kilometers. I can't stop. My body will not allow me to stop. And my mind is the one that won't allow me to stop, actually. And I push my body to levels. And I have to say that it's the only time I feel powerful. I feel free. And I always say to my husband, and he says, why do you overdo the running? I said, because I feel free. And I think it's free from the demons in your head. So,
and you're in control of what you're doing as well.
Exactly.
I mean, to a certain extent, you're controlling what actually you deciding.
Yeah,
how
and
many
when you push
kilometers
yourself, you know that you've achieved when you finish. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
So empowering moves. Earlier this year, I ran the London Landmarks half marathon, my first ever half marathon, to raise money for MQ mental health research. The picture above was taken when I finished the race, raising over £400 for the charity. I wanted to run for mental health research because I long for a mentally healthier future for all. I don't want others to go down the route I have gone down. I don't want others to struggle like I have and still do. Research gives us the key to real change. Awareness isn't enough, which is why Tom does all this research and gives it out to you people, because someone does the research, he finds out what's going on, and then we feed it to all of you. And this is very, very important, because if people like Tom didn't do this, you would not be aware of what's happening out there, and you would just sink in whatever form of depression you're in. So bear that in mind. Thank you, Tommy.
No, pleasure. I'm glad
Research gives us the information we need to change treatments, interventions, preventions, policies to create healthier society where someone like me can flourish, not be cast out. Strengthening others strengthens ourselves. And since we all have mental health, by strengthening those who struggle more than others, it will mean we're strengthening ourselves. Addressing the needs of those people who have different needs doesn't take away from anyone else. It adds to our experience. Lifting others up doesn't bring us down.
Yeah.
Why should people like me be left behind? Millions of people worldwide are affected by mental illness. All of us have mental health, just like we all have physical health. Some of us develop mental illnesses just because some develop physical illnesses. Some of us, like me, have conditions we learn to live with for the rest of our lives. A few years ago, I had a breakdown. I don't like the word, but it's the best word I can find. Without breakdowns, we wouldn't have breakthroughs. During the time that you feel impossible, physically impossible. But by being active and moving doesn't necessarily mean physically. We can start a movement creatively, philosophically,
Got one for you.
philosophically and politically. my friends started the movement with me, and by helping me, listening to me, being with me, eventually the movement of and joy in moving, joy in living revealed itself again.
That's really good. Very, very, very good one. And actually, what I really like about that, what you said there is, which is worth noting, was without breakdowns, you wouldn't have breakthroughs.
Exactly.
That's a very, very poignant statement.
It's a very, very, very,
yeah. It's very, very poignant. So thank you for that article, Indira. That was really, really good one. And by the way, are you buzzing?
No. What, buzzing?
No,
as in like a bee?
Yeah, we got a bee. Look at him. Look.
Good
So,
God.
folks, if you hear a buzzing sound, and it's not me or Indira, we're not buzzing. We are buzzing, but in a different way. But we actually got a bumblebee.
So we've got Sting in the studio.
Yeah, uninvited, but he's here nonetheless.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's
Lost his way from the fields of gold.
Yeah, so Miss Bumblebee is inside, or Mr. Bumblebee is here. So that's what buzzing sounds going on in the studio.
God,
in case you're wondering, by the way. Okay, so thank you for that. Very interesting
Thank you.
one. So my article is psychedelic toxins from toads. Toads could treat depression and anxiety. Yes, you heard that right, from toads. Okay. A compound emitted by the Colorado river toad may reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression in a similar way to LSD and psilocybin. Remember, that was psilocybin, remember? Yeah. According to a study in mice.
Yeah.
Right. A psychedelic compound secreted by a poisonous toad could help treat depression and anxiety, according to a study in mice. When frightened, Colorado river toads release a hallucinogenic compound related to the drug DMT from glands in their skin. DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, is similar in structure and effects to psilocybin, a hallucinogenic found in magic mushrooms. Colorado river toads live in and around the Sonoran Desert, spanning parts of Arizona, California, and Mexico. And people seeking out the groovy effects of the substance may either lick the toads directly, oh nice, or extract the venom, dry it, and smoke it. Poor toads probably running for the hills. Researchers Researchers at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York investigated the potential health benefits of the toad secretions. We know that psychedelics like psilocybin can treat depression in some people, but it isn't fully clear why this compound helps. However, it appears to interact with serotonin receptors and reset the activity of neural circuits in the brain. Most psychedelic research has explored the drug's effects on a particular kind of serotonin receptor called 5-HT2A. But the team behind the new study focused on a more obscure serotonin receptor called 5-HT1A, which past studies suggest interacts with the toad toxin. The researchers chemically tweaked the toad. That's a good one. Let's tweak the toad. Tweaked the toad. Derived compound to solely signal the 5-HTIA receptors, which eliminated the hallucinogenic part of it. See, this is what I'm saying about this research, and ketamine is the same. They're now able to eliminate the hallucinogenic part of it.
Imagine sitting with your friend here. Do you want to lick my toad? You can have a lick. Yeah, have a lick of my toad. Sounds really bad.
That could be the new crave.
I know.
The crave rave.
Rave crave, yeah.
Yeah, rave crave. Okay, toad. A toad party. Okay, let's see, move on. And gave it to mice with signs of stress and depression. They found that mice who received the compound drank more tasty sugar water and spent more time with peers. Both exhibited signs of lowered anxiety and depression. Similar effects have been seen in people receiving LSD or psilocybin treatments. Frankly, that's what we hope to see, says author Andrew Warren at Mount Sinai Hospital. Because humans share similar receptors in the brain, the compound may offer therapeutic promise in people. It's our hope that down the line, someone could use the findings of our study to help novel antidepressants for humans, but that's certainly a long way out, says Warren. Until then, you're going to have to lick toads. Until then, she cautions against licking Colorado river toads or smoking the poison. Along with intense hallucinations, it can lead to anxiety, vomiting, seizures and death. Okay.
Oh my God.
So do not try this at home.
Yeah,
Don't rush out and get yourself toads, Colorado toads by folks, yeah?
Yeah.
All right? Don't smoke them, don't lick them.
Yeah, it's a Colorado Rocky Mountain toad.
Oh, no. Interesting. So that's one for the future.
Yeah.
Innie.
Yeah, do you think the twinklet takes it? Do you think a twinklet licks it? There is a thing called a twinklet that we will be referring to. It is a creature of strange habits.
Mystery.
And lives amongst us.
The enigmatic twinklet.
The enigmatic twinklet. Yeah. Anyway, we think the twinklet's on Toad.
Funny enough, he often calls me Toad.
I know, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. But he hasn't licked the toad, thank God.
Oh, God.
Or else I'd be dead.
It's the breath, isn't it?
It's the breath. Oh, good God, yes, exactly. More on that later. Indira, it's time for your new song.
Oh, my God, I'm so shy.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about it and introduce it?
Yeah, my producers... Soul Shaker Brothers.
Toad Shakers?
No, Soul Shakers. And, Warren and Matt had sent me a guideline, and I decided to turn the dust into gold dust. It was so the dust on the dance floor turned to gold dust. And I wrote this song and rehearsed it about 5 minutes before I got to the studio.
I remember because I drove you down to work with them on that.
And I was like, I've got to learn this thing. And I was out of there in half an hour.
That's right.
So I
just had time to make a coffee and you were already done.
Yeah, well, it's a gift. What can I say?
So, what is it? The name of the song is?
Dust on the Dance Floor.
Dust on the Dance Floor. Have a listen to this, folks. Ooh, I'm grooving to this.
Well, there you go.
Wow. Excellent. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that. That is the kind of song you want to lick the toad, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lick the toad.
I really enjoyed that song. That's a really cool track.
Thank you.
The lyrics are fantastic, and just the way you sang that. I mean, that was for your 30-minute cameo in the studio to record that. That was a really, really good, great job. Fantastic.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, grooving.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, folks, the link to that YouTube video will be obviously posted in the show notes. You can go play it all day and night, lick the toad and party. So we've got another one from Indiraa from Mental Health Awareness Month, and it is called Why British Women Are the Saddest in Europe. Is that correct?
No, why are British women so sad right now?
Okay, right now.
I was told that, when the British tourists land in an airport, because when the engines of the plane are off, that you can still hear the whining. So I was told this by an Englishman, which is quite funny.
He was a pilot as well, wasn't he?
He was probably the pilot. That's
Punch's
right.
pilot.
Yeah, punch him pilot. Yeah.
Ryanair. Okay.
So, how are you feeling? If you happen to be a woman from the UK, there's a reasonable chance that your honest answer is something along the lines of not that great, actually, according to the Hologenic Global Women's Health Index, an annual survey that explores female well-being around the world. UK women are sadder and more stressed out than their counterparts in the EU. Not that we're part of the EU anymore. Sigh. Anyway, the statistics make for a pretty depressing reading, but they might not be all that surprising to women. They may even tally with your own anecdotal experiences. 32% of the survey British participants revealed that they felt sad on the day before, that's the previous day, compared to 21% 3 years earlier. Just 26% of the EU women surveyed reported the same feeling in this recent study. 39% in the UK, women had experienced stress the day before, while in Europe it was 34%. That's even more concerning, is that worry, stress, anger and sadness levels among the British women have all increased since the study in 2020. That could be the pandemic thing, no? Mm-hmm. Yet they've dropped across the rest of Europe. Oh, they've dropped across the rest of Europe. People have picked up it, but we've gone down. That's not good. No. But put simply, we're continuing our own downward spiral while things are apparently looking up elsewhere. Overall, the UK ended up ranking 22nd out of 31 European countries when it came to women's emotional well-being. That is really bad. Mm-hmm. Beaten by countries like Ireland, Poland, Lithuania, Germany, and perhaps unsurprisingly, given how often they score highly in various quality of life league tables, the Scandinavian nations.
Yeah, highest.
Yeah. All of this paints a worrying picture. So why might British women be feeling so despairing? Let me count the ways. The cost of living crisis disproportionately affects women who tend to be paid less and face greater job insecurities. In many ways, the problems seem to be more pronounced than in Europe. The inflation rate climbed higher, and did energy prices, which also took longer to fall than they did on the mainland. Previous research from the charity Mind, we've worked with those a lot, found that 74% of the women in England and Wales feel that their mental health has been negatively impacted by rising costs of living. Meanwhile, Hologic, the company behind the survey, has suggested that the UK's relative standstill when it comes to improvements in women's healthcare is a driving factor, as our country is being leapfrogged, here we go with the frogs again, by others. Senior NHS consultant Geeta Nargund, who is a medical director of ABC IVF, seems to agree the British women feel sadder and more stressed than the European counterparts. Unfortunately, it comes as no surprise in the context of the country, which is the largest gender health gap in the G20 and the 12th largest globally, she says. Well, and now that's it.
That's it. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
So basically, British women are miserable.
Oh, no, there's more to it. Sorry.
Okay,
Delve into the statistics, and the scale of the inequality is quite staggering. In 2017, Public Health England found that women can expect to spend a quarter of their lives in ill health compared to 1/5 of men.
Wow.
Oh, that's not nice. No?
No.
Nargin notes that women with a total blockage of the coronary artery are 59% more likely to be misdiagnosed than men, and that it tends to take 8 years for women to be diagnosed with endometriosis, which can cause severe pain and fertility difficulties.
Lord, 8 years.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Wow, that's crazy, huh? And that's just takes account of the women who carry on pushing to receive the proper verdict from doctors. So the ones who give up just give up.
Yeah.
Many give up and put off making the appointment because they worry that their symptoms won't be taken seriously. That's what I just said.
That's surprising.
But once you have got the
statistics.
diagnosis, increased pressure from the NHS, that there are long waiting times for women's health treatments, explains Dr. Claire Merrifield, GP and medical director in healthcare testing companies. So women are always waiting longer. Well, that
sounds like it,
weird.
doesn't it?
Yeah. In 2022, the
Inequality.
median wait time for gynecological service in hospitals doubled from 6.9 to 13.7 weeks.
Oh.
That is crazy, with over 300,000 women waiting longer than a year to see a gynecologist compared to just under 1,000 in 2019. Wow, that's 300,000 as opposed to 1,000.
It's staggering,
And just
really.
just in 5 years. With the pressure of the specialist services, there is a provision for medical support around fertility and perimenopause. We were talking about this yesterday, which can be both significant and stress affect well-being. Men have typically been treated as a default patient and in the medical care and research. Less than 2.5% of publicly funded research, and UK explores reproductive health. This, despite the fact that 1 in 3 women can expect to deal with a gynecological issue in a lifetime.
In a lifetime? Wow.
1 in 3?
Wow.
Wow. That is a result that women find themselves navigating a system that never really set up to work for them anyway. This can be a deeply frustrating experience, but isn't it the same all around the world? No, not quite. Other countries are taking steps to get closer to the gap. Nargin says, citing the example of Spain, which has become the first European country to provide menstrual rights in the workplace, allowing anyone with disabling period to take time off work, fully paid and funded by the welfare system. Denmark, meanwhile, offers a full range of reproductive health treatments within the healthcare system, including infertility treatments. Dr. Merrifield adds the cost of 3 cycles of IVF for a first child, for example, is covered. The comparison of the countries she knows, UK tends to have a creative mindset when it comes to women's health. We tend to only seek support when there is an issue, rather than be checked out for future problems. Many of the countries adopt a proactive approach to routine checkups, provided opportunity for education, early support, and pre-tentative screening. So there you go.
What is a sheer clear case of inequality there between male and females, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. The article goes on and on about, each country in detail.
Statistics, demographic
But
statistics.
it's crazy. So that's not good.
Yeah, and it's not going to change it anytime soon, is it? Because obviously, let's face it, the NHS here is in a complete crisis. And mental health, because of mental health, obviously, everything is in crisis. Really, I mean, someone waiting list just to see a psychiatrist through one NHS could be 18 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
And by then, you could have topped yourself.
It's terrible.
If you do get there after that length of time, what kind of state will it be in by then anyway? It really is. It's
a disgrace that, okay, on one hand they want equal money for sport and this and that, and then what is more important, equal there should be equality when it comes to health. That's far more important than how much money you earn when you kick a ball or hit a tennis ball. What's more important?
Well, money's not good if you haven't got mental health, is it?
Exactly.
That's the most important. Your health is your wealth.
That's true.
That is a fact. Okay, thank you for that, Indiraa. That is
on that note, I'm going to lick a toad, huh?
It's a lick the toad. I think a lot of people need to lick the toad.
I know.
Sounds like it, no? Sobering article.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so my final one before we have our is: are you burnt out or just depressed? Okay.
Both.
May is both. Maybe a lot of people are both. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're focusing on providing solutions, resources, and support for overall wellness, especially emotional wellness. Unfortunately, many Americans find themselves tired, burnt out, and depressed, but they're not sure why. Burnout.
They voted for Trump. That's why.
That's it. That's it. You've nailed it on the orange head. That's exactly what it is. You've been trumped.
Yep.
Burnout and depression can indeed look very similar. Sorry, my lenses are just playing up here. I'm seeing things in
last week was my glasses. Now it's your turn.
can indeed look very similar. They present in very similar ways, such as fatigue, lethargy, loss of sleep or appetite, irritability or sadness, anxiety, apathy, mental fog, bodily aches and pains. But you probably
all of the above.
Yeah, you're all of the above. Yeah, and social avoidance, isolation.
Oh my God, that's me.
A few.
Oh my God,
all of them for you, which we were talking about earlier. However, burnout and depression are distinct phenomena. According to therapist Linda Mensch, burnout is an overall feeling of mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that arises from prolonged exposure to high levels of stress, typically within one's job. The important thing to focus on here is that there is typically a clear cause and effect related relationship between a particular stimuli and the presentation of burnout. If that stimulus is removed, such as leaving that stressful job, no longer participating in that particular activity, or changing your routine and workload, the burnout symptoms will likely subside, if not entirely disappear. Depression, however, is much more complex. Depression itself is sort of an umbrella term or category that contains a range of emotional conditions such as burnout, mild depression and major clinical depression, as well as seasonal affective disorder, SAD, postpartum depression, etc., etc. While some depressive episodes are linked to environmental factors such as burnout and work or SAD, SAD, and emotional changes, they may also be linked to hormones, genetics and brain chemistry. Such a dynamic thing, isn't it? In such cases, treatments may not be a clear cut and simply reducing or removing a particular stimulus. Mensa continues to clarify that depression, specifically namely major depression, may include an aspect of advanced state of suicidal ideation or self-harm. People who are experiencing depression may have addictions, engage in self-harm, or contemplate taking their own lives. Suicide is sometimes seen as an option because some may see themselves as a burden to others or feel such extreme levels of mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that death seems like the only means of respite or reprieve. She believes that burnout is a stop on the continuum of depression, but doesn't necessarily need to become depression. However, if you are recognizing any indications of burnout and depression in yourself, the most important thing to do is reach out for help. Number one, because we want to try our best to nip it in the bud as early as possible. And number two, because it isn't always so easy to see what came first, burnout or depression. Good point. That's what we're remembering. The main takeaway is to avoid getting too caught up in the weeds of trying to self-diagnose what is what. I keep saying that to people. Don't try and overanalyze things. That is not the important thing. It's just, that's exactly what that point is. The weeds of trying to self-diagnose what is what. It is better to seek help from a trusted mental health practitioner, community member or elder and begin to sift through those details and treatment options together. That's a very good, short and sweet, very good article and to the point. No? And you can relate to that one particularly.
Well, I wanted to say, I thought of something yesterday is one of the symptoms I find when I know I'm down is I keep falling asleep. So maybe you need to address that if you find you're falling asleep a lot or just fatigued enough to switch off your brain, then maybe you need to see somebody. Because I switch off my brain when I'm tired.
Yeah.
And it just like things like that. So
well, of course, I mean, that's one it's a pronounced symptom of depression, isn't it?
So
just mental fatigue.
I meant to bring that up on today's show because I was thinking about it, and it does. I just feel like sometimes I'm just shutting my eyes and it's to blot out the world, and that's not fun.
Yeah, no.
So let's move on to fun now.
Yeah, so it's time for Now, I want everybody to take this seriously, including you in there. This is not funny. Yeah? This is true. This is actually gospel. This is because it's from the Daily Star. Okay, all right.
Daily Star.
Said, "Ooh, Daily Star." Aliens and Daily Star. Well, there you go. That's it. Oh, okay, enough of that.
It's not the sun then.
No, that's not sun. Well, the sun, the moon, the Daily Moon, Daily Star. Let's moon at the sun, sun at the moon.
Yeah.
Here we go, folks. A UFO whistleblower claims alien flagged down military convoy to ask for a spare part. Sounds like a spare part, all right. The spectacular story of an alien that flagged down a US military convoy and asked for help to fix its flying saucer.
No, kick up my flying saucer, please.
What did he ask for? A spanner and a wrench? Yeah? Good God almighty. So was unveiled this week in a new podcast. It wasn't our podcast. We're just this is our podcast, and we're just reciting what's already in it. So don't blame us.
No, he needed a screwdriver. One of the screws was loose in his head.
Oh, this is brilliant, isn't it? I'm an advocate and firm believer in aliens, UFOs, but sorry, I don't believe that an alien just flagged down a US convoy. He'd be taken, if it was really happening, he'd be taken into the back, wouldn't he? Yeah. So get in here. You're coming with us.
You're an alien. Will you come back to our home base, please?
Yeah. One of the latest UFO whistleblowers to come forward with information about the US government's dealing with aliens has told of his incredible encounter, it's definitely incredible, with an extraterrestrial who was looking for roadside assistance. Toadside assistance.
Toadside!
He was looking for toadside assistance. He obviously wasn't with the AA.
No, he wasn't. Aliens automobile.
Oh no, aliens automobile. Oh no. This is brilliant, really. I love it.
I love it.
Roadside assistance. UFO expert Courtney Marchesani was one of the first in her field to break the story of Jason Sands. Okay.
Incense.
Who claims to have first-hand knowledge of the US government's secret UFO reverse engineering program, and says that he even met and communicated telepathically with an alien being. She told how he revealed to her that as well as working for the USAF's secret UFO crash retrieval team, he had an unexpected encounter with a non-human intelligence, NHI, close to Area 51 in the Nevada desert.
Route 66.
Okay, Route 66. 666. Yeah. All right, yeah. She said there was a convoy that had left Neal's United States Air Force installation in southern Nevada out on the range, and they were told by their commander not to talk with anybody out in the desert. But there was a person walking on the road with US military fatigues on, so they stopped. Jason was in the passenger seat of the vehicle, and he rolled down his window to speak with the person and ask if they needed help. But it was not a human being. It was another type of being, and it asked for a spare part for his ship.
Why was he wearing a US military?
I must have escaped the Area 51, did he? Or maybe he needed to get in there to look for a part, and he just happened to wander out into yeah. It's brilliant. I mean, come on.
But what part of his spaceship exactly went wrong? The ladder?
No, I think it was the fuel pump. Or spark plugs maybe were gone, were they? Maybe he needed new spark plugs to get back to another planet, you know? Okay, according to Courtney, Sands then suggested to the extraterrestrial visitor that they should ask for help in Area 51. So he's redirected the alien to Area 51. So
where he came from,
this is a military convoy with military personnel in it. They get stopped by an extraterrestrial. They don't find it odd that they've just run into an alien, and they're giving them advice.
Clearance, you can get in there, no problem.
This is brilliant, right?
He was probably a Russian spy, with the US military uniform.
Send him in, oh God. Cheers, Mr. Courtney. According to Courtney, Sands then suggested to the extraterrestrial visitor that he should ask for help at Area 51. But, she says, the being had said no. That's the story that I heard. Right.
But the being knew that
it didn't go one to go back.
Didn't like 51.
Yeah.
What did 52?
52, yeah. Or 69 maybe you wanted. We're 69. Sands is a controversial figure within UFO circles. No, really?
No,
is
really?
He? Not at all. No, this guy's credible as hell. Yeah. And has already made several extravagant claims about his work with the USAF. No wonder people don't... And this is why the
wonder people don't actually listen to people like us.
Yeah, and of course they don't believe when anything comes out. Now, the government love this because they're getting guys like him to discredit genuine UFO stories. You know what I
love
mean?
This
This is
Where did you
brilliant.
find this?
Oh, I
it.
find everything. While it seems certain that he was employed by the Air Force in some capacity, there's no hard evidence that he worked as part of any UFO recovery team. He said in a lengthy online question and answers, "They tried to recruit me into the retrieval program early on, but I refused because I thought it was kind of gross, picking up bodies and things like that." He claims he was in the USAF for 22 years, and during that time, he was cleared to view top secret information. One of his jobs, he says, was connected with technology captured during various earthbound conflicts, learning to duplicate and counter-weaponize systems used by hostile groups and governments here on Earth. But, he says, there was a more exotic side to his work, I'm sure there was, that involved an effort to understand technology captured from non-human intelligences. It was one of those NHIS, he says, that stopped him and asked him for help on a lonely road in the Nevada desert.
Oh, Jesus, he was hallucinating in the desert.
I think he sucked those toads.
Toads as well, I think so too.
I think he was sucking more than sucking. I think he was bloody drip feeding on them. God almighty. I've heard some great UFO stories, but this
is very good.
This is amazing. This is
oh my
amazing.
God.
This is amazing.
Oh. Now, I'll be thinking about that all day. That's going to lighten my spirits, if nothing else, honestly.
This guy, I wonder if we can get him on the show to talk about that. You know, he can suck some toad. And
Jason and the astronaut and the cosmonauts or whatever, Jason.
This guy's definitely on. He's on.
What is he on?
Pluto.
Seriously,
he's on all sorts
he's
of psychedelics.
on some things. I know he's on something, whether it's Pluto or not.
I guarantee he's got a whole host of toads in his
Imagine how
house.
cute. Excuse me, I've got a flat tire.
Yeah.
What's your name? I'm Alien 2252. Where's the flat tire?
Yeah.
On my spaceship? You have wheels? Yeah, how do you think we get to the moon?
Yeah.
Pedal.
And unfortunately, I don't have roadside assistance.
Exactly.
So I need assistance from you.
And I'm not with the AA.
Any spare plugs? Spark plugs. Bright spark plugs.
Right.
Oh my God, that was fantastic. So really, really, really enjoyable podcast today. Some interesting and wonderful articles around Mental Health Awareness Month. We listened to your fantastic song. What is it again, the name? Reinforce that
Dust on the dance floor.
Dust on the dance floor. Yes. And we even learnt about sucking toads. Not toes.
Licking, it wasn't sucking.
Sucking toes. See, I'm thinking toes and toes. Licking toads. Okay,
yeah,
licking
it was
toads.
licking toads.
Yeah. Okay, so don't, everything we hear, we read and research we portray to you is just for educational purposes. We're not telling you to go out and do anything. We absolutely would not suggest anything like
The
it.
fact that he mixed it up with sucking toes, doesn't that make you wonder about Tom himself?
Yeah, see what's going on in her mind? I never even thought of that now.
Yeah, you see.
Doesn't need much
Maybe
incitement.
Fergie was into sucking toes, wasn't she?
Well, she was an alien, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Looked like one anyway.
She broke down.
She broke down many
on the
times.
highway.
She certainly went down anyway. On who?
Toe level.
Well, folks, I think we're going to leave it there for today because we've had too much fun.
Yeah.
Too much fun. So, again, all of today's articles and...
They towed away his spaceship on that note.
On that note. Next time, Indiraa. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Well, folks, on that note, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have. And we look forward to bringing you more of the latest news and hot topics surrounding mental health on our next show. Remember, new episodes of the Mad Podcast drop every Sunday at 6 p.m. Episodes are available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, the Musicians Against Depression website, an online toolbox that contains a wealth of information, essential reading, and links relating to mental health. As always, if you or someone you know would like to join the conversation, either in studio or remotely, email us at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com or visit the MAD website at www.musiciansagainstdepression.uk for further info. All links, including social media, are provided in the show notes. And remember, no problem in life is insurmountable, and help is just a conversation away. Until the next time, from myself and the wonderful Indiraa,
Take care.